Monday, February 8th. I awoke to the sound of a cat digging right below the balcony near the street. It was trying to make space around a stump. After a while, he got ready to move the stump, and the guy with the shovel decided to get out of the way so he didn't get roots in the face. And of course, you need to make sure it's dead, or all the dirt is out of the roots. Final part of the job is smoothing the hillside back. I think they might be starting prep for the retaining wall as they took out 3 other steps going east. My suspicions are further reinforced when I see a couple guys cleaning up all the thrash next to the street. Boxes of plumbing pipes are near the building and a couple frames. Around the south side of the building, workers are cleaning up all of the extra trash. I caught a closer view below my balcony of the worker sealing the window frames. Spread on the yellow goo, then take the gray tape, stick it in the goo, and then cover that with more yellow goo. I wonder how long his jacket will be black. He worked quickly, and at the end of a day, he had 2 full rows of window frames sealed and completed. Weather is changing, and it looks like winter again in that sky. This worker pulled on a white suit and scrambled up the scaffolding before I could even get my camera ready, and now he's spraying the yellow goo on all the unfinished plywood. I heard a rumbling under my balcony, and I looked down to find a Skytrack exiting the area carrying 2 of the Beastie Boys over to the Mikasa dining room. There they loaded several windows onto the cherry picker part of the Skytrack. Skytrack maneuvered very carefully down the hill with the guys who are waving, and got into position to raise them up against the new wall. Once up there, they carefully fed the windows through the opening to waiting workers inside and put some frames in each room. Tomorrow they'll be installing them. Trash is being picked up over on this side too. When construction is done, I think I'm going to start filming weather and flowers and water. Okay, a lot of cool stuff. Very early on a different morning, the pumper truck arrived. Hadn't seen it in a long time. It unfurled against a dark gray sky. It hung in the air over the workers, kind of like a huge elephant trunk. There are my familiar guys, with their boots on, waiting for the concrete truck. Now the challenge is for the worker to direct the trunk full of concrete up high enough to drop down through the trusses. Their job is to fill the landings and the stair treads with concrete on the red steel staircase at the end of the assisted living building. This is where I really miss my full access. I can see them working, and I know that they're smoothing and spreading the concrete. Somebody forgot to clean up after the elephant. On the street side, Don caught the pumper truck emptying the remaining concrete out of the trunk so that he can clean it out and be on his way. As I walk up the street side, I can see them working inside the Mikasa level, but it's really dark and it's hard to tell exactly what they're doing. My Beastie Boys seem to like being up high. Today they're applying the waterproofing tape on all the seams between pieces of plywood. Okay, so I got sidetracked by the sky and the jet trails again. Out front of the atrium, a truck arrives with huge boxes. I'll betcha there are more windows. They finally took the plastic off the atrium door, and you can see that it's a slider, like the front lobby door. Behind the truck, the gray around the windows that had been changed is now pale pink to match the facade of the rest of the building. Standing on the street looking north, you can see the profile of the third floor of independent living. Okay, so I got sidetracked by the cute critters out front of an Alta Vista casita. Stucco crew has been busy on the north side covering the white styrofoam with gray stucco on the wood shop. On the north side of the 6,000 wing, plywood walls have come all the way to the end by the solarium. Still haven't managed to catch this big crane lifting anything. Maybe it's a game and he stops when he sees me coming. I did catch a few curious robins up in the tree watching me as I passed. Jan Hooper sent a picture of the work on the hallway in the fitness classroom. They did work last week. It was on the roof, and I just didn't notice when I looked out the door. Following day, they mixed and spread stucco all the way across the front of the classroom. Day after that, they started on the west wall that faces the pool. That'll be a little longer job. Someone put a beautiful sign for their dad by door 3. We're all enjoying it every day.
Hi, we're back at the 6,000 wing, independent living. Last week they were about half done with the trusses, and as you can see this week the flooring for the next level is mostly done. They've started stacking framing for the 5th and last level. Look at that table with the architectural prints laid out on it. Those guys around it are bosses, checking and laying out and marking for the next level framing. We've seen before that they cover the hallways last, no doubt to let some light in beneath. Note they're still working on the balconies. Hi, this is Jack Breyer. It's February 10th, 2021. It's overcast, 50 degrees, and calm. Here at the east end, as you can see, there's still more detail work going on, trying to finish up putting on the flooring for the next level. Do you see that guy on the left corner there walking away? He was standing on a slightly reddish piece of plywood. They're putting that reddish plywood by all the balcony doors, probably because it's waterproofed and the other flooring material is not. That's a nice touch. You can see a couple of red ladders sticking up from the hallway. That's probably how all those guys got up on the roof. You see the table there? The meeting seems to be over and it's all systems go. Block Monster seems to be very quiet this week. I think he's clinically depressed. Are there any Block Monster psychiatrists out there? Oops, watch out for that red ball. Hi. Last week we saw that a helicopter screw propeller forces the air around it downward, and this produces lift in the upward direction. The Wright brothers were the first to realize that a propeller at higher speeds was essentially like a wing. The inner part of the propeller moved at a slower speed than the outer part, and so they pioneered the twisted, tapering airfoil shape of modern propellers. So, if a propeller is a wing, how does a wing produce lift? The answer is Bernoulli's principle, which says something like an increase in speed of air over a surface causes a decrease in pressure on that surface. So looking at a wing, the air flowing over the top flows faster and the pressure on the top is reduced. So the normal pressure on the bottom produces lift. We can easily illustrate Bernoulli's effect. Go. Hi, I'm here in my apartment's hydrodynamics laboratory, and I have a sheet of paper and a hairdryer. And as I blow air over the top of the sheet of paper, the sheet of paper lifts. Let me try it one more time. That lift is Bernoulli's principle. So the propeller produces lift in two main ways. One, the downward flow of air past the propeller from the helical screw action. And two, from Bernoulli's principle on the propeller's wing-like shape. So to summarize the whole thing here, the voltage applied to the motor produces speed in the prop, which increasing speed produces more lift, which eventually leads to upward acceleration of Wilbur. That's it for this week. On to assisted living. Here at Assisted Living, there is more insulation on the roof, and they have mostly closed up the west end walls and ceiling. My ladder is gone. How did they get up there? They've put in lots of windows on the south side wall, and they're spray painting the west end. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? As we come to the lobby area, look at the hatch on the roof and the stepladder over the wall. Below, again, there are lots of trucks and lots of stuff out in front. Now, jumping over to the back side, about 2/3 of the painting is done and the windows are in. They seem to have installed vents or something in the little square holes. On the west end, it looks all ready for painting and insulating, but not quite there yet. They're doing work on the parapet on the bump out area. Well, that's about it for this week, folks. See you next week.
Our buildings are getting more and more closed in, so I was excited to be invited to see healthcare. Thursday, the 4th of February, we met at door 8 and began to get instructions for our tour. Whether you were a board member or a CEO or an architect or a photographer, everyone had to wear hard hats to go on the tour. Oliver, the AL foreman, stood to the side watching. I couldn't hear him chuckling under his mask, but I suspect he might have been. Easton Hamblin is the project manager for Bradbury, and he's showing people how to adjust them so they don't fall in your eyes and bang your nose, so they help keep you safe. I stood out of the cold wind by door 8, and I'm afraid you could hear me chuckling. Finally, the tour began. This is a nurse's station on the winter wing, which is designated by blue. There's still some things to be done, but I like the pendant lights. Staff bathroom has a pretty blue-gray tile and is near the nurse's station. Rooms are mostly finished. The flooring is individual wood plank carpet tiles. They can actually be bleached when needed. The windows are large and there's a sliding barn door on the bathroom. Closet for clothes and personal items also has a sliding door. They have wasted no space in these apartments. Bathrooms are completely tiled and have lots of grab bars. Look at all those gadgets in the shower, and it's wide enough for a rolling chair and a helper if you need them. Hallways have the solar tube. It was bright the day we toured and very cheerful. I really want one of those. Sky domes are identified by the season. This one has a snowy tree and those wispy, hazy clouds of winter. Public restrooms coordinate with the season. This one is gorgeous blues and turquoises and grays. And the walls are the easy maintenance large tiles again. Fall hallway is all cinnamons and golds and those iridescent changing shades. Sky dome on the fall hallway reminds me of New England as the colors are changing and the air feels so crisp. This is the multi-purpose room for assisted living. Healthcare will use it until Phase 2 is complete. It has cozy carpet in the center for furniture, and around the outside, the wood-looking tile will be easy to clean. In the assisted living dining room, the fixtures are neutral and modern. Assisted living dining room is very roomy and has a gorgeous floor-to-ceiling fireplace. Wood tiles are used for the heavy traffic, and the outdoor views are going to be wonderful. With large windows, they will be able to see the seasons, blooming and changing, and any activity in the outdoor courtyard. Assisted living kitchen has a little ways to go. I really like the dark blue tiles around the outside. Healthcare will also be using the assisted living bathing room. It has soft, calm colors and a tub to die for. I'm going to have to make friends with somebody in this department since I don't have a bathtub. This sky dome is the entrance to spring. This wing and summer will be part of Healthcare Remodel Phase 2. Tour proceeded into the tall assisted living atrium with the upper balcony. I almost did a backbend filming the ceiling, but I really like the detail. Fireplace is made with the same stone as the assisted living dining room. Although it looks to have texture, it is very smooth to the touch. I can't wait to see these lights illuminated against the tall fireplace. Cozy cushions will make these banquette seats in the atrium a great place to view the outside world and chat with friends or relatives. Moving into the Mikasa level, I can really see why it has been so loud on the outside of the building. Just looking up at the ceiling, you begin to see how much work has been accomplished like these heating and air conditioning ducts. This reminds me of an upside-down pipe organ from a local church. These black and red pipes are fire suppression units. I really like that little red steering wheel. Okay, I know it's a valve shutoff. Even the wastewater pipes have a cool symmetry when you look at them from this angle. More pretty copper pipes in the ceiling. It seems like there is miles of yellow wire coiled among the beams. Outlets and electrical wire loop and travel all through the walls. Use your imagination and you will see that this is a warming kitchen for the Mikasa dining room. Many windows in the dining room will let you watch birds in the treetops and changing weather. Across the hall, the family space for Mikasa has multiple windows and gorgeous views as well. I was very excited to go on this tour, and I was very encouraged when it finished. There will be so many new, wonderful things for them to experience.